But this is something that the tourists do not see. So, for example, you don't have any potable water in any island in Galapagos. And they were choosing poor families, and they built houses like this.
Welcome to Max Takes on the World, and today we're going to uncover the untold truth of the Galapagos. To help me answer this question, I'm going to interview some people that are working on the island to make a difference here. I'm here with Daniel. He is the president of NGO for a Change of Life.
So yeah, I used to live in this house.
Oh, were we on top?
No, on that time was just one floor.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's a place where it shows you like the most depressed part of Galapagos, of Santa Cruz, and you know the changes in between the kind of roads. And some of the things that, for example, is really challenging for this, it's because this is, for example, the difference in between the urbanized zone and the national park zone. And here you understand that sometimes people do not care about this part of the town, and you start saying, you know, the bags of garbage,
the trash
and trash that people just take from their houses and just throw it here. Low income part of Santa Cruz. And you will actually find here and in the back of that actually houses that are just wood materials. So this was made as a political election project. So the size of the lots for actually making houses in all this is really, really tiny. And almost more of the 50% of the people from Santa Cruz actually live in this area.
Oh, 50%.
Yeah, and we will go and check that. For example, here you don't have any green area, any part that actually they can even play. You don't have playgrounds all around this place, and maybe we will see few, but they are really bad maintenance places. So actually, here is what a lot of people lives.
So you said there was like classism earlier, and is that like in terms of way other people treat people too? Like I know you said the outsiders kind of get treated like slaves.
One is that, I mean, because of the residence issue, you have sometimes like for several people like three different kind of people that it's in Galapagos. The one that were born from the people that just arrived at the beginning of the of our towns. So they should be called as colonos. So it's the one that actually came and colonized Santa Cruz or even Galapagos. Then the people that have the permanent residence, let's say even maybe like me, because I came when I was 4, so I didn't born here, but I have permanent residence. And then you have the people that just came quite close, at least since 2015. So these people are trying to have any kind of residence or working here. So sometimes they are fighting in between each other. You know, people that are the sons of the pioneers thinks that the Galapagos belongs to them, and all the opportunities of having new companies or new ships or new hotels should be only for those families, and not actually for even families like ours. But sometimes these two categories of people that are already live in Galapagos and have residence fight against the illegal people, you know, the people that do not have any regulation for being here. But sometimes, you know, it's really tricky because Galapagos is like, you know, Spain for Ecuador. It's like a lot of people come here because people from Galapagos sometimes feel like, you know, services should not be attended by Galapagueños. You know, it's like the Galapagueños should be the owners of a restaurant, should be the bosses of something. So people that it's not from Galapagos should be working on construction or maybe cleaning bathrooms. So this kind of employees nobody dreams for being a service man, you know. So sometimes even that we fight, I'm not, but sometimes people here fight with the illegal people they need those because actually they think that they have to do the work that a Galapagos shouldn't do. So it's really tricky, this idea about actually what is going on and how are we going to solve that, because they need in between each other. So it's a really complex things, but yeah, this about classes actually sometimes they fight against each other.
These are the playgrounds you were talking about, huh?
Yeah, for example, for all this place, this is the only playground that you have. And if we come closer, you will see that actually have no maintenance, and actually it's not a well-designed place for actually making kids to play. You know, it's not that safe. But it's the only thing that these kids have. You know, so that's why from our NGO, and I will take you maybe if we have time to see a different park in which we find something like this, and we just change all that to actually well-designed place, because you know this kind of material actually is not even good for the kids. And they were choosing poor families, and they built houses like this.
So the government built these houses?
Yeah, this
for,
house
okay,
specifically.
House.
The other one no, but this design of the house was a national program. That's why you see that kind of infrastructure. So they bring this, you know, concrete walls and but you don't see that much windows. That is the septic tank, and sometimes the septic tank do not have anything in the floor, you know. So sometimes the septic tank is just, you know, draining into the land. But this is the way that we treat wastewater here, because actually you don't have any sewage system. So that's the septic tank, and unfortunately sometimes it's quite close to the place that you have the water. So sometimes you have this contamination in between of the water. Yeah, it's supposed that people can live, you know. But if you don't have this well-planned ideas about how people should live with the national park, you will have things like this, you know, people using the national park just a garbage place. But it's because you know you need to work more with the community to actually make them to be involved. But it's something about actually more design of the town, how to make them to be part of the Galapagos, you know, the heritage. It's supposed that we live in a heritage, but for sure that it's most of the people that lives in Puerto Llora actually do not feel like they're living in a heritage.
Just like kind of on the outside of what the government wants to do.
Yeah, because sometimes if you have like this beautiful planned part, it's only for the way the places that the tourists see, but this is something that the tourists do not see. But where is the plan? Where is the authorities? So where are they need to work a little bit more on support this part of the town. You know, trying to understand that even when the government is launching big projects about solar energy, wind power energy, you know, renewable energy that are really needed for Galapagos. But we are wasting, or we are investing a lot on those kind of projects. But these are the users, you know. This is how the users lives. And sometimes if you actually understand about energy, these kind of houses are so inefficient because they have no wind with the wind comes. So most of those houses need a lot air conditioning, you know. But and somehow these are high demand design for energy design house. So if you actually want to work in Galapagos about sustainable energy, you know, projects, you should come work with this kind of families and actually try to see how you can switch this design to make more sustainable houses, because they are not going to be sustainable just because we will have a plant that it's designed from solar energy. While we have this, and actually all the houses are trying to have different air conditioning and are really closed and with no windows or even no way that the natural light can come, then are going to to be houses that have really big demand of energy. So the government should need to grow and grow and grow more projects of energy, because the design of the towns are still being the same. As NGO, because was a part that usually looks like the small place that we saw at the beginning, and with some help of a school from Cuenca, and also with help with Gabi from the municipality, we made a small intervention last year in this place, and we grow all this that are native plants. We put water, the dropping water system, so they can be more efficient, and we fix a little bit this part, so actually people can have a better place. This is something that is important to see, because it's supposed to be the public university that it's linked for a national university that is Universidad Central from Ecuador. But this building has been unfinished almost for 8 years.
Wow.
It was started several years ago, but because of the budget, they just stopped. Then they start again, then stop. Now they are supposed to start again, and now they are painting and putting the glasses and all that. But this project has been there for 8 years. And now it's supposed that the political promise is that this maybe will start running the 2022 or 23, and it's going to be like the first time that we will have a public university. But until now, we never know if that is going to be accomplished or not.
Yeah, 8 years. Wow.
Yeah.
What do you think they're I see construction workers. What do you think they're doing there now?
Now they are supposed ending the last part of the inside. I mean, painting and putting the walls and finishing the electric part. But one of the problems is when you finish this, it's the budget for making this working. Having enough money for paying all the teachers, having enough money for maintaining a career for 4 or 5 years. It's the biggest worries that we have now, because maybe the building is going to be there, but are we going to have the budget for making students actually study there and have everything? Because then you need to have chairs, desks, laboratories, and a lot of things that should be equipped. So we don't know yet if that amount of money it's going to be able to have. So maybe we will see the building quite soon ended, but we don't know yet if that is going to start running soon. Couldn't make an agreement with the municipality to also help on making this place better. But all inside of this place actually was rebuilt because of our intervention as NGO. So we raised a lot of money for improving this place. So basically, these displays are what we made. We came together with company that is a tourist company, and we came together with a federal, local, and canton organization of sports, with the local government and the provincial government, and we raised money to redo all this place. So we made it a chance. We had a chance to bring money, and we changed all. Even putting the letters, making better the bathrooms, and improving this whole project, so these kids can have. And at night, this place is wonderful. There's a lot of kids that actually needs something to do with their free time. So actually working on this was a really good project in terms of giving chance to avoid drugs, alcohol, because actually you give something quite safe to the community to do, especially sports. So we support this project, and we are trying to raise some more money. We made an intervention similar like this, but a small place in Isabela, and we also change up other parts here in Santa Cruz. But it's the kind of project that we design, it's trying to make people for community and for involving kids and youths on a better way of living.
Now, you grew up here in the Galapagos?
Yeah, I came here when I was just 4 years, so I have been living here since that. Well, I went to also the university and then come back. But yeah, I have been living here for all my life.
What was your experience like here growing up?
when I was kid, I actually there was no any road with asphalt or any. This was just ground roads, and actually the town was really tiny, so all of us know each other. We knew all the kids almost on the town. There was just two or three schools actually on that time, so we were just a big family when I was here and when I was a kid. So actually there was really beautiful because we never even locked the doors at the houses. You can just go to the school, come back, and all the houses were open. We were using the streets actually as court for playing. um, we always went to beach, and actually you can go, you could go on that time to do camping on the beach because we really lived really close together with nature on that time. We were really really close with every families and also with the beautiful ecology that Galapagos have.
What is like the living conditions for the common people of Galapagos like?
Well, the living conditions are quite challenging in Galapagos because you because of different policies. Basically, sometimes you have quite difficult processes for taking and bringing solutions to Galapagos. We are 1,000 kilometers from the mainland, so most of the food comes from the mainland. And people actually, they're in the past, the ships just came once in a month, or once even 6 months, at the beginning. But so you had to at the beginning you had to wait a lot for having good food or for having conditions for growing. For sure there's a lot of limitations because it's are good for conserving Galapagos, but at the same time, for example, not being able to have really good conditions on bringing good doctors to here. Because, for example, what is the government thinks about when they want to come a good teacher, for example, is that a good teacher in the mainland have to attend a certain amount of kids, or even a doctor should attend certain amount of patients. But here in Galapagos, because we don't have really critical maybe car accidents or big accidents, you don't have a lot of traumatologists. You don't have a person that it's really a doctor for more complex needs. So you have just basic doctors here. If you have a complex ill, or you have even cancer, or you have diabetes, you don't have a specialist here. You always have to go to the mainland. So basically the people lives here are understood for the national government like a small town. So you cannot give all the resources because it's too small, the amount of people. So the investment per capita, it's really high comparing to the mainland. So if when they have to, for example, give budget to Galapagos, they always say, okay, but how many people lives there? Oh no, so we cannot support that kind of project because it's too expensive for Galapagos. With that same amount of money, we can support all the big projects in the mainland. So for example, you don't have any potable water in any island in Galapagos. You don't have a sewage system in any kind of town in Galapagos. You have not public transportation here. You can have for sure taxis, but you don't have public transportations. You don't have universities. You don't have specialized doctors. You don't have even a good hospital where you can be attended. Any big complexity on health, you have to take a person outside of Galapagos in the mainland to be attended.
I'm here with Dr. Sophia Cook, a research assistant out of the University of Cambridge. Now, you've been here on the island for a while now.
Yeah, so I moved here in February, and I've been working in conservation and sustainable development issues.
So we heard a lot about the problems the Galapagos has. What can people do to make a difference?
So there are a range of ways in which people can help. The first thing that I always say is, if you're coming here to visit, if you're coming to travel, think about how to do that in a sustainable way. Make sure that you're not leaving litter behind, that you sort of research your trip beforehand, make sure you're going to the places you're allowed to go and not the ones you're not, etc. But then also there are a range of ways to help through whether it be actually getting involved in projects. There are a few ecotourism projects around. You can volunteer in different like animal welfare shelters or conservation projects here. Also, there are various conservation NGOs that you can donate to that specify on like wildlife conservation. And then what we have set up actually is a sort of first of its kind initiative that focuses more on conservation in the community. So we take the attitude that we know that there are wildlife conservation issues in Galapagos, and we know that there are social welfare issues like what you've heard about, the clean water, education, healthcare, and that these are typically treated separately and that they shouldn't be, not anymore. Really, we have the belief that these things have to be tackled together. So the community have to be involved in conservation, and conservation needs to support the needs of the community. So we actually set up an initiative about 6 months ago now, where we support local people who are working in projects in sustainability and conservation, and we support them with their project planning, their statistics, and linking them up with other groups, etc. And then we find funding for their projects. And the way we do that is actually by reaching out to tourists or international people who just have an interest in Galapagos and want to help in some way. And we allow people to choose a project that they would like to support, and we introduce them to the project leader. And if they choose to support their project, they get regular videos of updates about the project, the progress and the impact. And so that model means that we're like supporting conservation and sustainable development in the islands, but through the community, which is much more, I think, effective and sustainable long term than the current situation, which is that most of the conservation work is done by international people who come in, do projects, and then leave again. And there's not so much capacity building in the community, and there aren't so many opportunities for the community to get involved.
Where can people go to find more information about this? Maybe somewhere online?
Yeah, so the initiative is called Galapagos. The Co is standing for collaboration, communication, cooperation, coordination, anything else beginning with Co. We have a website which is www.cogalapagos.org. And on that website there's a section called Community Projects, where we host all of the projects we're currently supporting, and also we support internship program as well here, where donors can choose to sponsor a particular local intern in a project that is related to conservation and sustainable development. And so they're all on the website, and then we have an email address, which is just info@cogalapagos.org, and people can get in touch with us if they're interested to find out more about a particular project and are interested in sponsoring.
Okay, I'll post all that in the links down below. I hope you guys enjoy this video and you know more about the Galapagos and how you can help support them here. Make sure you subscribe for more content and smash that like button. Until next time, fight on.